Hello everyone, Dr. Alan Mandell here. Welcome back to my channel, Science of Healing. Doesn't lie in your heart, your brain, or even your genes, but in your muscles. Yes, your muscles. Today we're diving deep into why muscle mass is the real longevity organ, backed by science, and how you can preserve and grow it starting today. Most people think of longevity as a matter of heart health, brain function, or even the DNA hidden deep in our cells. They focus on supplements, superfoods, or medications, hoping for some magic bullet that will make them live longer. But the truth, the shocking truth, is that the real organ that determines how long and how well you live isn't your heart, it isn't your brain, it's your muscles. Muscle is the hidden powerhouse, the silent guardian of life, and most of us are completely ignoring it. Muscles are not just for movement. They are metabolic engines, producing energy, regulating blood sugar, and protecting your body from disease. Every pound of muscle burns calories at rest, which means your muscles are literally keeping your body's fire alive 24 hours a day. But their function goes far deeper than metabolism. Muscle is a communication hub. It releases hundreds of signaling molecules called myokines, hormones that travel through your bloodstream and tell your organs how to behave. These myokines reduce inflammation, improve insulin sensitivity, and even influence the brain, protecting it from cognitive decline. In essence, muscles are not passive. They are talking to every cell in your body, orchestrating health in ways most doctors never mention. Here's a fact that will shock you. Low muscle mass is one of the strongest predictors of early death in adults. Studies published in the Journal of Cachexia, Sarcopenia, and Muscle show that older adults with higher muscle mass live longer, independent of body weight or fat levels. People with frail, weak muscles don't just lose strength, they lose years of life. Every pound of muscle you maintain adds not just strength, but vitality, independence, and resilience against disease. And yet, most of us are on a silent countdown. Starting in our 30s and 40s, we naturally begin to lose muscle. On average, adults lose 3 to 8% of muscle mass per decade, and after age 60, that loss accelerates dramatically. If you ignore it, by the time you reach 75, much of your muscle could be gone. That's not just inconvenient, it's deadly. Muscle loss is linked to higher risks of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, infections, falls, fractures, and even cancer. Losing muscle isn't cosmetic. It's a medical crisis hiding in plain sight. Now let's talk about the magic inside muscle. When you engage your muscles, they produce myokines, powerful proteins that act like internal medicine. They reduce chronic inflammation, the silent killer behind most age-related diseases. They improve insulin sensitivity, stabilizing blood sugar and protecting against diabetes. They even cross the blood-brain barrier, reducing the risk of cognitive decline and dementia. Muscle is not just tissue, it is a longevity organ, a hormone factory, and a shield against aging. Most people focus on fat. We obsess over belly fat, BMI, or cholesterol numbers, but fat is passive. It stores energy. Muscle controls energy. It burns fat, stabilizes blood sugar, and communicates with your organs to keep your body functioning at peak efficiency. And here's the most overlooked fact. You can rebuild and maintain muscle at almost any age. Muscle is incredibly adaptive. Science shows that even people in their 80s and 90s can gain strength, improve mobility, and increase survival simply by preserving or adding muscle mass. Let's get real for a moment. Think of your muscles as your body's secret life insurance policy. Every movement, every rep, every stretch you do strengthens this hidden organ that most people take for granted. A strong muscle system protects you from falls that can end independence, keeps blood sugar in check to prevent diabetes, and even supports your heart by improving circulation and reducing inflammation. Muscle is not just about looking good in a mirror, it's about staying alive longer and living better. And yet, the modern world is conspiring against our muscles. Sedentary lifestyles, office jobs, long hours of sitting, and endless screens are eroding this organ silently. Combine this with poor nutrition, insufficient protein intake, and chronic stress, and you have a recipe for accelerated aging. The consequences are staggering. Weaker muscles lead to frailty, loss of independence, and a cascade of health problems that most people never anticipate until it's too late. Here's a little known fact. Your muscles also regulate your metabolism and hormone levels more effectively than any drug or supplement ever could. They influence testosterone, growth hormone, and even the stress hormone cortisol. Weak muscles mean your body struggles to produce these critical compounds, accelerating aging from the inside out. Strong muscles, on the other hand, promote resilience, vitality, and a longer health span, not just lifespan. This isn't theory. Look at the research. A 2018 study in JAMA Network Open followed thousands of adults and found that muscle strength was a stronger predictor of longevity than heart health or BMI. That's right. People with stronger muscles lived longer, healthier lives, even if they had other risk factors. Muscles are the real gatekeepers of survival, and yet most health advice completely ignores them. So, what does this mean for you? It means that if you want to live longer, protect your independence, and age with vitality, your focus must shift. Forget crash diets, forget endless cardio that burns calories but leaves muscle wasting away. The real prescription for longevity is resistance training, sufficient protein, and lifestyle habits that preserve muscle mass. These are not optional, they are essential. Every movement you make is a chance to feed this hidden organ. Every meal you eat is an opportunity to provide the building blocks it needs. Every choice to sleep well, manage stress, or stay active strengthens it. Ignoring your muscles is like ignoring your heart. You may not feel the consequences immediately, but over time, the toll is devastating. Muscle is the ultimate longevity organ, the silent engine that keeps your body alive and thriving. It controls metabolism, shields against disease, produces life-sustaining hormones, and communicates with every organ in your body. Neglect it, and you accelerate aging. Nourish it, and you extend your life, your health, and your independence. The question is simple. Will you treat your muscles as the organ they truly are? Or will you let them waste away silently while the years slip by? Because the truth is undeniable. Muscle isn't just strength. Muscle is life. And if you want to live longer, healthier, and stronger, your muscles are where the journey begins. It happens quietly. Most people don't even notice it until it's too late. Muscle loss is silent, creeping into your body decade after decade, robbing you of strength, vitality, and ultimately years of your life. After age 40, the human body begins a natural, relentless process called sarcopenia, the progressive loss of muscle mass. On average, adults lose 3 to 8% of their muscle per decade, and after 60, that rate accelerates dramatically. It's not just about looking weaker in the mirror. This loss is deadly. Every pound of muscle lost is a pound of resilience, independence, and metabolic control slipping away. Here's the hard truth. Low muscle mass is one of the most powerful predictors of early death. Research shows that people with frail, weak muscles are more likely to suffer falls, fractures, diabetes, heart disease, infections, and even cancer. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition revealed that older adults with diminished muscle mass had a 50% higher risk of mortality over the following decade than those who maintained their muscles. Muscle is not just strength, it is life itself. Think about this for a moment. Every step you take, every movement you make is powered by your muscles. When muscle is lost, so is the body's ability to support itself. Balance falters, mobility declines. Suddenly the stairs that were easy yesterday feel impossible. The simple act of carrying groceries becomes a struggle. What most people consider normal aging is often nothing more than the consequence of muscle atrophy, a tragedy that is completely preventable. Muscle isn't just a structural tissue, it's a metabolic lifeline. It stores glucose and regulates insulin, keeping blood sugar stable. When you lose muscle, your body becomes less efficient at handling sugar, raising the risk of type 2 diabetes. But it doesn't stop there. Low muscle mass is linked to a weakened immune system. People with frailty are more vulnerable to infections, and even minor illnesses can become deadly. Muscle is your internal armor, and without it, your defenses crumble. And here's the part most people ignore. Muscle loss accelerates with inactivity. Sitting for hours, skipping resistance training, and neglecting protein intake sends your body into a downward spiral. Studies in JAMA Network Open found that adults who remain sedentary experience far greater declines in muscle strength, independence, and overall survival than those who exercised regularly, even moderately. In other words, doing nothing is a death sentence in slow motion. Let's talk numbers, because the truth is stark. After age 70, some people may have lost up to half of their muscle mass compared to their youth. Imagine your body being stripped of its engine year after year. Without intervention, muscles atrophy, bones weaken, balance falters, and falls become inevitable. Hip fractures, for example, carry a mortality rate of up to 25% in the first year among older adults. Weak muscles aren't just inconvenient, they're life-threatening. But it's not all doom and gloom. Muscle is remarkably resilient, even in older age. Studies show that adults in their 70s and 80s can rebuild lost muscle, improve strength, and dramatically reduce their risk of falls and chronic disease. Resistance training isn't just for bodybuilders, it's medicine. In fact, research in medicine and science in sports and exercise confirms that just 2 strength training sessions per week can increase muscle mass, improve balance, and even enhance longevity. This is science-backed evidence that muscle is both a weapon and a shield against aging. Why does this matter so much? Because muscle loss isn't cosmetic. It's not just about vanity. Weak muscles shorten your life, rob you of independence, and increase your risk of chronic disease. Every pound of muscle preserved is a pound of metabolic health, immune protection, and physical resilience gained. Muscle is the body's insurance policy, and ignoring it is like leaving your house unlocked in a storm. Consider this: chronic inflammation and high cortisol levels, often caused by stress, poor sleep, or illness, accelerate muscle breakdown. Excess sugar, processed foods, and sedentary habits compound the problem. By the time people realize something is wrong, the damage is already significant. Loss of muscle leads to frailty, and frailty leads to dependency, hospitalizations, and premature death. This is the hidden epidemic of aging, and most of the world is blind to it. Here's another shocking fact. In older adults, muscle mass predicts survival better than body mass index, cholesterol, or blood pressure. That's right. Strength matters more than weight or heart numbers when it comes to living longer. Doctors have long focused on the wrong metrics, but the research is clear. Your muscles are the most important organ for longevity. Lose them, and the clock starts ticking faster. Preserve them, and you gain years of life and independence. But there's hope, and it's actionable. Resistance training, even with bodyweight exercises like squats, push-ups, or planks, stimulates muscle growth. Adequate protein intake, about 30-40 grams per meal for older adults, provides the building blocks for repair and growth. And lifestyle choices, sleep, stress reduction, anti-inflammatory foods protect muscles from breakdown. These interventions are simple, yet profoundly effective. They don't just improve your strength, they save lives. Think of muscle as the foundation of survival. Every lost fiber is a lost year of vitality. Every strengthened fiber is a shield against disease, frailty, and dependency. Muscle doesn't just make you stronger. It keeps your heart, brain, and organs functioning optimally. It regulates hormones, supports immunity, and communicates with every cell in your body. It is the organ you can see and feel, and the organ that most determines how long and how well you live. The takeaway is undeniable. Ignoring muscle loss is a silent killer. It is not a cosmetic issue. It is a public health crisis hiding in plain sight. But the power to fight it is in your hands. Move, lift, nourish, and protect your muscles. And you're not just building strength, you're extending your life, your independence, and your health. Muscle loss is deadly, but it's preventable. It is never too late to start. Every rep, every meal with sufficient protein, every step that challenges your muscles is a step toward longevity. Muscle is life, and preserving it is the single most powerful investment you can make in your future. The question is stark. Will you stand by and let your muscles waste away silently, or will you fight back, reclaim your strength, and take control of your health. Because the truth is clear. Losing muscle is losing life itself. And if you protect your muscles, you protect your years, your health, and the very essence of your independence. Most people know that muscles are important, and some even realize that losing them is dangerous. But few understand that muscles are entirely within your control. They are not a passive organ that decays inevitably with age. They are a living, adaptive system, and with the right actions, you can protect them, rebuild them, and even grow them stronger than you ever imagined. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how, science-backed, practical, and powerful enough to change the trajectory of your life. The first truth you must accept is that movement is medicine. Not casual walking, not endless hours on a treadmill, but resistance training, lifting weights, using resistance bands, or even performing bodyweight exercises like push-ups, squats, lunges, and planks. These actions are signals to your body that say, grow, protect, strengthen. Research published in Medicine and Science in Sports and Exercise shows that adults over 65 who perform resistance training twice a week experience measurable gains in muscle mass, balance, and strength in just a few months. This isn't optional. This is life insurance written in sweat and muscle fibers. And it's not just about building aesthetics. Every session of resistance training triggers your muscles to release myokines, those powerful proteins that reduce inflammation, improve insulin sensitivity, and even communicate with your brain to protect cognitive function. Strength training is not vanity. It is a prescription for longevity. It slows aging, reduces frailty, and lowers the risk of chronic disease. In fact, studies have shown that older adults who maintain strong muscles live longer, healthier lives than peers who focus solely on diet or cardio. Nutrition is the next critical step. Muscles are hungry. They need high-quality protein to repair, rebuild, and grow. But here's the catch. Older adults need more protein per meal than younger adults to stimulate muscle synthesis effectively. Science recommends roughly 30 to 40 grams of protein per meal, coming from sources like eggs, lean meats, fish, Greek yogurt, and plant-based options like lentils, chickpeas, and quinoa. Timing matters too. Consuming protein shortly after a workout magnifies the muscle-building response. Every meal is an opportunity to fuel your longevity organ, and ignoring it is like refusing to refill the gas tank on a high-performance engine. But building muscle isn't just about lifting and eating protein, it's also about protecting what you already have. Chronic stress, poor sleep, and excessive sugar accelerate muscle breakdown. The stress hormone cortisol literally eats away at your muscle tissue, while systemic inflammation blocks repair. Studies in Frontiers in Physiology show that older adults who slept less than 6 hours per night had significantly less muscle mass and strength than those who prioritize quality sleep. Anti-inflammatory foods like leafy greens, berries, nuts, and fatty fish help counter this silent destruction, giving your muscles the environment they need to thrive. Another vital, yet overlooked factor is progressive overload. Your muscles only grow when challenged. If you do the same routine for months or years without increasing resistance or intensity, your body adapts and growth stops. Research confirms that gradually increasing resistance, repetitions, or complexity forces your muscles to adapt and become stronger. Every rep should push you slightly beyond comfort. This isn't about ego or extremes, it's about survival. Weak muscles are a vulnerability. Strong muscles are a shield. Consistency is the silent secret. You cannot expect to lift weights once a month or sporadically eat protein and see results. Longevity requires habitual action. Studies in the journals of gerontology show that adults who consistently engaged in resistance training for a year not only increase muscle mass but also improve balance, coordination, and functional independence. Every session compounds. Every meal counts. Every choice to prioritize recovery, sleep, and stress management adds invisible bricks to your foundation of health. Hydration also plays a surprisingly important role. Muscles are about 75% water. Dehydration reduces muscle function, delays recovery, and impairs strength. Drinking sufficient water throughout the day, especially before and after exercise, ensures your muscles perform optimally and repair efficiently. Simple, yet often overlooked, hydration is one of the most basic tools for preserving your longevity organ. You must also recognize the importance of full body integration. Muscle doesn't exist in isolation. The muscles of your legs, core, and upper body all contribute to stability, mobility, and balance. Neglecting any area creates weaknesses that cascade into injuries, falls, and frailty. Functional exercises like squats, lunges, deadlifts, and planks recruit multiple muscle groups, strengthening your body as a cohesive, resilient system. The goal is not vanity, it's functional longevity. Recovery is the final, critical piece. Muscles grow when you rest, not just when you lift. Science shows that growth hormone peaks during deep sleep, and protein synthesis occurs most efficiently while your body is at rest. Overtraining, neglecting rest, or chronic sleep deprivation sabotages your efforts. Protect your recovery as fiercely as your workouts. Sleep 7 to 9 hours per night. Practice stress reduction techniques like meditation or breathing exercises, and respect your body's need to repair. This is a lifestyle, not a temporary fix. Protecting and growing muscle is not about fleeting motivation. It's about daily discipline. It is about showing up consistently, feeding your body the nutrients it needs, challenging it safely, and giving it the recovery it deserves. Every choice compounds. Every rep builds not just strength, but life itself. Let's be clear, following these steps is literally life-saving. Adults who maintain or increase muscle mass reduce their risk of chronic disease, frailty, falls, hospitalization, and premature death. Your muscles are your internal defense system. They regulate metabolism, support immunity, protect your bones, improve balance, and communicate with every organ in your body. The stronger your muscles, the stronger your survival. The good news, it's never too late. Even if you are in your 70s, 80s, or beyond, your muscles can respond. Studies show that adults in their 80s gain strength, improve balance, and reduce risk of falls when they start resistance training. The body is adaptable. Age is not a barrier. It's an opportunity to reclaim your health and independence. So here's the blueprint. Lift or resist twice a week, eat protein every meal, stay hydrated, prioritize recovery, challenge all muscle groups, manage stress, and protect your sleep. These are the actions that preserve your longevity organ. These are the decisions that determine whether your later years are defined by strength, independence, and vitality, or weakness, frailty, and decline. Muscle is not just about strength, it is life, independence, resilience, longevity, and the steps to protect it are simple, actionable, and available to anyone willing to commit. Every rep, every protein-rich meal, every hour of quality sleep is a vote for your future, one that can literally add years of healthy life to your timeline. The choice is yours. Will you protect the organ that controls your survival, or will you allow it to waste away silently year after year? Because the science is clear, the consequences are real, and the actions are simple. Your muscles are not just for movement. They are your most powerful weapon against aging. Preserve them, strengthen them, and you preserve your life.